What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, everybody?
And we are back for the second to last match in the top 16 of the IDC. Not
Nope,
IDC,
nope,
this
no, no,
isn't
no, no,
IDC at
no, no,
all.
no.
Used to narrating
Yeah.
those things.
This is your
This is
second
season
favorite
3.
tournament series.
Oh my god, yeah. Season 3 bracket tournament. Trying to find another best deck.
Woo!
Will it be Lightwater Dark Nature Ice Sword or Lightwater Nature Alcadeias? Alcadeias we saw last season. Go check out the deck profiles. We uploaded those before. We're doing all sorts of recording out of order, so God knows what we're doing anymore. But yeah, Lightwater Nature Alcadeias. It's essentially the same list. We took out Cyforce, so that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, versus the Forcive Ice Sword deck, a deck that I think you are definitely more fond of than I am.
Well,
But a
that sounds
deck
like
that
you hate it, but yeah, no, I do like
it,
it.
it
Uh,
had a really good showing in IDC. It's the definition of anti-meta
yeah,
in Duel Masters right now.
it leans on Ice Vapor and Sky Sword, which are two cards that are different, very very different matchups that they're good in. And it's sort of a mid-rangey deck that can play more aggressive or slower. And I think only two people have brought it to IDC, one person in two different IDC tournaments, and it made I'm pretty sure it won one and then got like top 4 in the other, or maybe it was top 8. But like it's very limited play so far, but it's done pretty well consistently in the IDC, which is actually like the main tournament series that Duel Masters has going on right now. I like it.
Right.
This is going to get posted later, so I can let you all know I've actually brought a version of Ice Sword with 4 swaps and different card choices to IDC 33. So this was actually this tournament, this match we're watching right now. This is actually like my first ever game playing the deck. So fun fact. See how it goes.
Yeah. Fun fact: you hit your 3-drop, and
Where are your
Alcadeias is
plays?
looking very slow off the draw here. A lot of expensive things. I basically saw the entire top end of my deck here. Um, yeah, the cool thing about Ice Sword, right? Like you said, it plays like a mid range deck, and
Oh
so
jeez.
you can just get aggressive. Granted,
That
there it
happens.
didn't quite work out, but bouncing a Holkus isn't the worst thing for you, and if it gets rid of a Surfer now, you can't
Oh,
be
we've got a
so
reader.
yeah, I got to make sure I'm flipping for Olaris as well as my
Yeah.
Surfer. I had to make sure that flipped 2 cards. And so yeah, now you just get to play with some face-up shields, which is not hopefully going to be confusing for the viewers out
Polaris
there.
is really powerful. You can just like give me that Ice Vapor because you know it's a useless card in this matchup, essentially. And that's just powerful,
Yeah,
you know? I mean, you don't have to do
yeah,
it this turn if you
and
don't want. You can just do that, which is even more powerful. As it turns out, Alcadeias is not
yeah.
bad. Actually, Ice Sword doesn't have that many spells, but it also doesn't have any way to remove Alcadeias ever. Well, no, never mind. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm
It
talking
has
about. Aqua Surfer
right. It
exists.
has
Yeah.
it has Surfer right. So I'm playing the Alcadeias there with the bank on the fact that I think you're running 2 Surfer right in this version.
Yeah. And you
Um,
know you're not going to break
so
it because you're breaking face up shields, so that's nice.
right. Right. So I can avoid it there if you don't have the last one in hand. Maybe this Alcadeias just gets there. The one thing is kind of playing this
Oh wait,
like Alzonius a little
did you
bit.
say 2 surfers? Ice Sword definitely plays 4.
I sort of plays 4. Okay,
Yeah,
well there
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
Sorry. Didn't want to steer you wrong. It plays fewer pits. I think this version played like 2 or 1 or 0 pits, but 4 surfer is pretty standard. Um as the resident Ice Sword
Yeah,
expert.
yeah. Part of me really wants to continue breaking here. I end up not. I figure if I can wait one more turn, if you still can't deal with Alcadeias this next turn, which you weren't able to last turn, if you didn't see it in the top 2 cards, then Alcadeias should be good to start going on a tirade. But unfortunately, you did find your Surfer.
Oh my god. You got Surfer in the first and second shield.
Sometimes you just get lucky.
The odds of that are like astronomically low. Like if I didn't
That's
even
why.
I'm sure if we turn the audio on, I'm complaining about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We, and that's why you play 4, right? You
Yep.
kind of want to beat these mid range slash aggro decks. It is the one thing. The one thing that Alcadeias struggles with, again, I was comparing it earlier, very similar to Alzonius. Alcadeias can't deal with boards that go super wide. We don't have the mass removal in fire. Neither of these decks do. So the minute one deck gets wider than the other, you end up in this struggle of alpha strike situations and just trying to set up a board to where you don't give your opponent the ability to crack back. And at the moment, it would seem that hitting the non-multi civ is good. Trying to figure out whether or not I just play out the Olorus here. I think I'm holding another Mysterios. Uh, just a lot of options here, and it all just depends on what you have, right? So I'm just kind of rolling the dice on seeing what we can do here.
A lot of cool Japanese
So
alt arts in that Alcadeias deck. I like those mushrooms.
yeah, a little
So
bit
you
brighter.
trade.
Um, yeah. Yeah, take the trade there. Again, when you can get quote unquote favorables, right? Or just easy trades, easy one for ones. I think you take them here. Alcadeias is a blowout, but eventually I have to set up Olorus into Alcadeias. And fortunately, I'm only 2 mana away from that. So just trying to get there. Unfortunately, I did give you Lost Soul, which is a card you're probably going to end up playing this turn after bouncing the Mysterios, realizing that I don't want to draw because you are going to do that Lost Soul.
That was a good Lost Soul.
Yeah, I gave it to you too. Gave it right to you, hoping that those surfers just weren't going to punish me. And
Yeah.
there they are.
Oh, and to talk about the trade a bit more, I mean, against some decks, Alcadeias there could break a shield and then make the other deck trade, but Ice Sword does play a lot of shield triggers, so it was a very risky idea there. So trade made sense, but Lost Soul was solid, and now we're setting up Bloom against a pretty uncontested board state. Um, Not a lot of spells in your deck for Bloom to take advantage of, but it's huge. It is large and in charge, and hard to remove
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Couple of soul swaps.
Two
Holy
two
All,
swaps and
which the
all.
deck
Yeah.
plays two of. Yeah, so there's some options there for sure. I do have the swap though, so figuring out ways to kind of maybe not necessarily deal with Bloom,
Wait, you
but
have two
continue to
cards in
set up
hand,
creatures.
right?
Yes.
After Lost Soul? Am I? Oh, I must have missed the turn where you passed right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I hard passed after the first Lost Soul. Didn't have a
Got it.
play. Just passed you in. That's when the Bloom came down. End up not swapping out your Bloom there. Wonder if that's
Interesting.
questionable or if I was just don't know why I wouldn't have done that. Unless I was just
It's
hoping you would break with it. But here
I
comes the
mean,
Alpha Strike, and yeah, we were dead.
yeah, that's one of
So
those questionable things, but like you were lost, I think, at that point. You could have given me Bronze Arm Tribe, and I just would have had a wide board that, as you mentioned, Alcadeias just can't deal with anyway. So weirdly, whether the card has 1,000 power or 8,500 power doesn't really matter.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
unanswerable either way.
absolutely. And like I said, not knowing that Fighter Duel thing was about to come down, hoping that you were just gonna maybe break two and pass.
Yeah.
Gives me essentially maybe one more turn. And you did
Mm-hmm.
give me a miraculous snare there, so had I had a turn off of it, might have been
True.
able to make something happen. But unfortunately, the Fighter Duel thing got you there, and no additional triggers after the first two surfers that you overcame. Um, ended up working out for you.
I
So
honestly
on
cannot believe that I won a game where I hit first and second Shield Surfer. But Lost Soul's a pretty good card, as it turns out.
also, it's a pretty good card, and Surfer on Alcadeias is a
Yeah.
great answer.
Yeah, true.
So
Surfers were
so
just
that's
flying back and forth that game.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. End up missing my two again, quote unquote. I have another poisonous mushroom in hand, but I'm on the draw. So playing it outright and putting myself to two cards in a deck that plays Loco, and I think you have Clamp in that deck, right?
No, no clamps. Well, maybe in
Is
this version.
it?
I don't play it now. It depends. Well, now you're playing it on turn 3, and maybe it's because you have a Mysterios follow up. I think as long as you can
Yeah,
stick a Mysterios before Locomotive, or you're in the money. And this is also quite good because I see the Alcadeias as the last card in your hand, so that could just be a turn 5 Alc, which is gonna be
yeah,
tough.
yeah. If you don't have the Loco here, Alcadeias comes down, and I have to not multi brick. Um, so fingers crossed,
In the
and
4 swap
it's
version
double
of your
over
deck,
again.
I was gonna say in the 4 swap version of that deck that you can play in the IDC, Poisonous Mushroom on 2 is even better because you Shroom on 2 and turn 3 you Soul Swap in one of your 5 drops, Eulurus or Mysterios, and that's just insane. But
Oh yeah. So here's the fun play here. You don't have an answer on five for Alcadeias. Not a single
correct.
answer. So I'm going to break the next two shields. I didn't hit Surfer in the first three, and that was the big gotta if I can avoid the Surfer, I'm going to get you down to zero shields. And then from there,
Hmm.
with no Sky Sword, I should just be off to the races. So you
Yeah,
have
definitely needed a Sky Sword last turn.
yeah, absolutely. And when you didn't have it, it just confirmed. And again, call it just a high pressure, high risk play. Risk reward, whatever you want to call it.
Need Holy Awe here.
Need Holy All, need Surfer.
And also, I debated here if I'm relying on Holy Awe, maybe it's smart to 2-turn you, or at least attempt it. I don't. I think probably because I have like Fighter Dual Fang in my hand anyway. So just need to find a Shield Trigger, Surfer, or Holy Awe here. None are there.
Yeah, yeah. And I definitely should have swung with the Poisonous Mushroom first.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait,
it was
really?
odd not
Wait.
doing it. Your deck plays Terror Pit, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you can't Terror Pit Poisonous Mushroom either with Alcadeias on board.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, it didn't matter. Yeah, swinging
If it
with
was
Alcadeias first.
Alzonius, then yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, correct. Yeah. So yeah,
The
Alcadeias.
other big A.
Yeah, basically, didn't want to. Yeah, if you were gonna Surfer, I needed that to be on the Poisonous Mushroom. Needed
Yeah.
Alcadeias to continue to stick. So yeah.
Yeah, you really want me to bounce that Alcadeias and Lost Soul you again? I know, but it
Yeah,
wasn't meant
no,
to
it's
be.
still reeling from game one, and a relatively quick game too.
Yeah,
Fortunately,
you
no
just aggroed
triggers.
me down. That could that's just brutal.
Yeah, no, it's again high risk, and maybe I'm just playing this deck wrong. Who knows? But like, I feel like the hands are lending themselves there, and I'm not seeing the Mysterios. So
Well, I think y'all. I
sometimes
think I would. Speaking of high risk, I'd always just shroom on 2 if I have it. Maybe I'm bad, but like you could just draw the Mysterios, and then if you drew the Mysterios on 4 and you didn't shroom, you'd be like, oh jeez, oh jeez, should have missed
yeah,
or
your hand.
should have shroomed. What's my hand? Did I
Yeah,
look and look at it?
it's
Bad.
it's huge. Yeah, I don't think you have a card in there that costs less than 6.
Not to spoil anything from IDC, because obviously those matches are still ongoing, but sometimes I just draw real bad with this deck, and I think it's just a feature of the deck.
Yeah,
Like, it
playing
just
playing
sometimes
the.
draws a bunch of 5s.
Sometimes you just have the Arcade de la Serna, so in the deck that doesn't have discard.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it goes in mana pretty nicely. Looks very pretty down there. You don't have a 2. That's reassuring. I think your hand was pretty expensive, too.
I have yet to play a 2-drop.
Well, you opened with, like, 3 last game. You didn't because you didn't feel like it. You were, like, putting Shroom and Emerald down first 2 turns, like, oh, I missed my 2, don't know what's happening. It's like, you know what you did.
Right, but yeah, same idea. Couldn't afford the wanting to hold the Olorus and the Alcadeias and making sure that I have the
I'm
right
jamming that
play
Shroom
on
on turn 2
5.
every
Yeah,
time. I'm jamming it. I'm not jamming anything this game. I'm just jamming a bunch of stuff into mana.
yeah, yeah. Sky Sword goes down, opens up light for you next turn. Only missing water at this point.
You could probably just
What
start swinging if you've got another creature this turn. And
I
just hope
think
to not
that's
hit
gonna
shield
have to be
triggers.
the goal, right? Like when you see the good mid range progression.
Oh, we found the 2. Did we find another one? No. Okay, so it's
Am I
not
not
that
swinging
threatening
here?
of a board yet. Maybe not swinging here, because if you hit, like, I don't know, at this point, any shield trigger is, like, pretty bad.
Yeah, that Gigaballs is annoying,
Eh,
but not the worst thing that's ever happened.
no.
Sniping Olorus
Yeah,
out
it's
of my
good.
hand is a pain. Yeah. Fortunately, I opened the game with 3, so I'm still holding my third one after having to put the other one down for light mana, which in retrospect probably could have just hung out for a turn, but
Perhaps.
is
Do you remember
what
what
it
you put
is.
down in the shields?
Yes, I believe it's a Surfer.
Not surprised.
Yeah, the Surfer. If I remember this game correctly, shields are gonna get very fun here.
Oh
Very
boy.
fun here in short order. Yeah.
Why do I think that means they're not going to be fun for me?
Not fun for a lot of
Play
people though.
going into mana's kind of sad here. There's a lot of juicy servers that I can just put back in your hand, and like your board isn't. Yeah, that would have been nice to have in a few turns probably. Blurus comes down and is flipping 3. Hey, I have a surfer too. Nice, nice,
Nice.
nice, nice.
Feeling that. All right.
Feeling it.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're. Yes. This is Battle of the Weenies, right? So Hulkus. Hulkus could have maybe just broken like the bronze arm there. I don't really want to make any trades yet. Again, we mentioned it in game one, but just like
Well, I like
the winner of these games is usually whoever goes the widest, right?
yeah, so that for that reason I think I like not breaking cuz like even if I'm not going to play a bronze arm, it gives me something to play in mana that's not whatever I'm holding. So like you're just starving me for cards a little bit and making me put slightly higher value cards into mana cuz you can't sustain the aggression yet. You're not going to win in 2 or 3 turns here, so
Yeah.
I think that's
And
fine.
even
And
though
this
you
this plague
mana
isn't
to
even very
play it, yeah.
good.
Yeah,
What
it
do I
definitely takes.
have?
I mean, I see the reason to do it if you're afraid of Alcadeias next turn. Like
Okay, if I
that's
have
pretty obvious.
ooh, if this is a plague into next turn being a lost soul, then yes. Yes, I'm here for that. And hopefully that's the idea. And if it was that, I would have attacked probably. Oh, is that what I'm saying? Am I saying I'm going to attack here?
Maybe. I don't know. You're the
Come on
master of
past me.
audio.
It was like well, I'm not going to turn it up cuz we could just be saying God knows what. Okay, so it's a lost soul, right? Like that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
So it's time for
Yeah.
Alcadeias Serenade to teleport into your hand. I don't even know if it's in your deck, but
I
is it?
think it is. I think I'm running the one of.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a good lost soul. I'm here for that. You're just drawing cards till you're like, I don't care. Make him have it.
Yeah, yeah. If he's got it, he's got it.
Oh,
And
thank God.
sometimes you got it. Yeah.
That play would have made absolutely no sense if I didn't have that.
That one's tough. Yeah.
All
This
right.
this one that one stinks.
So I have 5 shields, like two cards in hand. You're top decking. This is looking decent for Ice Sword. Not gonna lie.
And yet, are we in it? Is the big question. Yeah, the Alcadis looks essentially dead. Like if you had any other dude on board right now, I feel like I'd be behind. The only saving grace here is that you don't really have anything
Ugh.
set up on board, and Ice Vapor's not doing a ton.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you top deck Shroom. It's like battle to the bad draws here. Do I have a real creature yet? Okay, I guess that kind of counts. Bouncing the Shroom, because you're never going to use its effect this game, probably. That's a better dude than Shroom, for sure. This is really... we had so many high impact plays for a couple turns, and now it's just like,
yeah,
ugh, both decks are just crawling towards the finish line.
just
We've broken each other's legs, and we're just like rolling into the finish of this game.
this one's tough, man. This is a tough watch. Fortunately, you're here with your good pals Earth Power and CVH, and
Yeah,
we're just here to talk about it, I guess.
it's fun to
Uh,
watch back because
yeah.
it's like I was really thinking for like a minute, and I play an ice sword, and you're like shroom. I'm like surfer the
Yeah,
shroom. It's like whoa, sparks
I'm
are
a top
flying.
deck. Yeah, top deck play this vanilla that's in this deck.
But
Yeah.
like you said, we're both trying to go wide, and we're both searching for that break point, a turn in which we can get aggressive and like actually sustain that through the finish line. And my best way to do
Oh
that,
my.
yeah, yeah. I decide that I can't let you dirtle forever, so I decide my best way to do that is to play a large double breaker, which in theory I think makes a good amount of sense. You play Mystrios, and that's basically telling me, okay, now I have to get aggressive soon, because the
Yeah.
value train is leaving the station for you. Here's another
Found a
big dude.
bloom.
All right, so like yeah, you have the value, but I have 2 big dudes, and then I pass one more turn. I'm pretty confident I can't kill you in one turn anyway. So maybe it was right there. No, because I don't want to break Surfer, but maybe I could have broken the Emerald Shields and prayed it was Holy Awe. Maybe that was right. Tried to break those early, you think? But no, because if I have Bloom, then I want to do that with Bloom. That'd be great.
Yeah, flip
It's
over
all
your
coming
remaining
together.
shields. Yeah, this Mystrios is working out. Found
Yeah.
me an Arcade de Lucerno, which is going to be the heavy vanilla double breaker drop next turn. Um, but again, you and I, Mystrios just kind of brought me back into this game after
And
you and
here's
I dirtled
something
for about 3 turns.
really upsetting. If I had just held the Soul Swap, I was gonna top deck Bloom the next turn anyway, which is enough of a large beat stick, and I would have had the Soul Swap to get rid of your Mystrios before it got any value. Just give you a Shroom, you know? So if I had just waited, I wouldn't have known, but the top of my deck was gonna be very kind to me.
Yeah, I start thinking about the fact that my board is wider, right?
Oh yeah.
So I basically have to bank on you
Break the Awe.
trying to guess if Bloom is going to be worth breaking my shields or cracking back on creatures.
Well, then I think
Um,
about it, and I'm like, well, I can already crack back on everything that I can crack back on. Tapping the last 2 doesn't actually do anything. Like, it allows me to
right,
kill a Eulurus instead of a Sky Sword, but that's it.
right.
So if I want to
So
kill
so
4, I can already do that.
Right, which is the whole reason for the break there. It's let's get it out of the way. Let's see if you can answer this board effectively. And if you can't deal with one or two of the other creatures, I can hopefully just set up and try to two turn you over the course of the next
Yeah.
next two turns.
Well, if
So
I have, let's see what would be good here. Surfer would be pretty good. Another Plague would have been amazing, but it's in mana, so that's... Alright, this is one of the better things I could have had. I think. I obviously
yeah,
have to trade, because otherwise I'm dead. I don't
right,
know if I have anything to do for 2 mana. Nope, definitely not 2 darkness
yeah,
mana. I don't think this version had any 2 drops, actually.
right. And knowing that I have Surfer down, especially like Surfer versus All, right? Um, Surfer down basically means that I can't lose immediately, and it gives
Yeah.
me the creature I need if I can get you down to no shields. So I can essentially break this Surfer this turn, and then force you to have one more creature than you can break in shields. Especially if I can set up a few more creatures over the course of this turn into next. So it's really just the chess match, right? How many creatures can I get on board, and how many can you deal with and also effectively swing at? And then the fact that I set one shield, which again you don't know what it is, but I do. Um, but to that point, there's also just four of the shields. Those could be
Mm-hmm.
anything, and if Bloom hits the wrong thing, it could just be game over.
Yep.
So you all of a sudden ended up in a very tough spot after that Lost Soul play looked incredible.
Yeah, because I answered the board last turn enough, but all you have to do is play, like, 2 more creatures. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to figure it out after that.
Yeah, and poisonous mushroom being very non-threatening is about as threatening as any other creature on board right now because it's just going to hit that surfer. It's just gonna deal with it.
You picked
Oh,
up...
I hated this play because I put another surfer down and I picked up a surfer. I
See,
remember
you
that one.
should know that you
That,
just don't need to put surfers down. You've already got them down there.
that one stung. That was kind of annoying.
Flip it.
That was
Just for
cute.
fun. Yeah,
That was
thanks.
cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
had to break it.
Good times, good times. And now I technically have lethal on board if none of those are shield triggers. But let's see if I can answer Emerald. Let's see if I untap my creatures. That would be cool to do. There we go.
All right,
I've
we're
got to
figuring
have
it
an
out.
answer. Got to have a Sky Sword in the Sky Swap deck. Come on. Come on. Holy Awe. Oh my god. Grotesque. So do I start breaking here in hopes that I hit Holy Awe? I'm thinking about it. It's really tough because, like, I know that because those are surfers, or at least one of them is. I think 2 are now. Even 1 would basically mean, like, boy, it's really unlikely that I win this.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. I mean, the one thing that could be neat, right, is depending on your break order, if you break the surfer and then break an all, that you get to tap the creature that comes out with the
Oh yeah, the
or
surfer
you get
comes
to
out, then
tap
I
the
tell.
surfer.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
brutal. None
yeah,
of that happens.
that could be spoilers.
No, I because I just ended the turn, so, like, clearly.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, yeah,
Oh
it's just
boy.
you're not in a good spot, and then taking you off of Bloom is equally just not great.
Yeah, I need to
So,
replay that, but I also need to deal with both of these, and I am out of plagues and probably out of awes.
Sky Sword's gonna have to be one of the answers this turn to keep
Yeah,
you in the
where
game.
where are the soul swaps? Where are the sky swords? I mean, I used a soul swap to get this Arcada de la Serna out, and I should have kept it for Mystrios. But, like, it's hard to know that Mystrios is on the top of your deck and Bloom was on the top of mine. Shame though.
Hard
I
to know.
think
Yeah,
I'm
that's
looking at
one of the hardest
everything.
things.
I'm looking at everything, which means I think I have nothing. I
Well,
have... Oh,
you
okay.
Hulkist first. Okay, another all.
We found it.
Another
Do I
all.
break now? I feel like I've got to start trying to, like, snipe the Holy Awe. I feel like it's got to be something that needs to happen. I have
Yeah,
to hit the
you're
face down shield, snipe Holy Awe, and try to win next turn because I'm losing time. I have no more outs for creatures. If it's Surfer, I lose. It is what it is. I lose to Surfer next turn if I pass. I lose to it this turn if it's Surfer. Is that Holy Awe? Oh my goodness, it is. Okay, so I sniped the Awe.
right.
Now I just need everything else to be bluffs and not shield triggers.
Yep.
Good luck. You
Yep.
already told me what's
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
there, so...
Absolutely. Yeah. Found
Actually, if it's
found the
only one
all.
shield trigger, I might have enough. If it was just the Surfer down there, oh wait, no, now it's not. Now it's not enough. You know, because if it was 4 shields and one's a Surfer, I have just enough to still win. But
Yeah,
now I
had
have
to play
exactly
that slight.
6.
Yeah, had to play that slightly out of order, which is annoying, just to have the mana to do the thing I needed to do. Um,
Be like
but
that
here we are.
sometimes.
Yeah, 2 more creatures on board again. Feels good. Again, hard to deal with for you.
Yep, no answers
Bloom
now.
goes
It's just
down.
Bloom.
Yeah, and you're just swinging.
All right, no shield trigger, no shield trigger, no shield trigger, and oh wait, it's a shield trigger. So that does by itself stop my lethal.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it needed to be one. You were just banking on the fact that I just wouldn't have something, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was what it was. Unfortunately, I just got there in the end. So
Yeah, honestly though, closer than I remember it being. Because
yeah, yeah, same.
if you hadn't put down, or if it had to put down a shield trigger, but the other one hadn't been a shield trigger, and if you hadn't played Sky Sword, kind of a lot of ifs. But like the point is, the deck was kind of
That's
close to winning.
yeah, and that's Duel Masters, right? Like it's not often that you see like what a lethal turn that was on. I guess that was turn 6 or 7 for you, where you plagued into the Lost Soul. Like, not often do decks come back from that, especially like you saw how dirtily it got for us the turns after you did that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you just didn't have a strong follow up to it, and I found Mystrios a turn before, uh, or at least the turn after you used your soul swap. So a lot of things went right there for Alcadeias to end up coming back, and sometimes that's just how it goes. I think in the comments below you might get a little bit of grief for not swinging with Bloom there early, but I think again,
Maybe.
knowing the fact that I had put down something, and it's rare that I bluff with Emerald, like it's I think everything, at least on your side, was done as correctly as it could have been, given what you knew in the moment.
Maybe. There's one interesting thing that I was thinking about. Um I think weirdly a misplay, I mean they can't see this, but after I plagued, I attacked with the Sky Sword obviously to set up the nice Lost Soul. I
Yeah,
didn't break the shield that you had set with Emerald. I was pretty sure that it was
yeah,
Surfer, but now that I think about it, maybe giving you a Surfer right there wasn't that bad for me, because you wouldn't have bounced my Sky
yeah.
Sword, you would have just traded with it, and it would have gotten it out of the way. If it was Holy Awe, then it's even
Right,
better for
yeah.
me, but
Yeah, because you also hadn't played. Yeah, that was way before the
yeah.
Arcadillo Cerna. That's
It was,
interesting.
yeah, because
Yeah,
Surfer would not have been bad for me, at least as bad as it would be later. Holy Awe would have been a total brick, and Soul Swap would have been a total brick, because you had like 4 mana after the Plague, so it wouldn't have done anything.
and nothing on board. Yeah,
You had 1
yeah,
Emerald, but like nothing to.
yeah.
Well,
You're
okay.
right.
Yeah. You had 3 mana, so like you couldn't get the Eulurus out with Soul Swap. Yeah, I don't know why I was so scared of Surfer there, because I had 5 shields at the time. So like, what was I gonna do? Get beaten down by a Surfer and an Emerald? Probably not. You're gonna bounce Sky Sword if anything.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
That's weirdly probably the worst play of the match. There you go.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
figured it out.
figured
Got
it
there
out.
for you. Comments,
Yep.
guys. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. Hope you enjoyed. We got one more match in top 16. Light Fire Nature Turbo Burn versus Rub Midrange, the final play-in winner, versus the runner-up from season 2. Stay tuned for that. It's coming at you here in the next couple of days. Until next time. Peace.
Peach.